Hey, you all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the north. More specifically, we are in Chesterton, Indiana. We're going to be headed into Chicago, Illinois today. We are going to take the South Shore line here at the Dune Park Station, and our train leaves in less than 5 minutes, so I need to get in there. So please follow me. All right, our train is over here somewhere, headed rapidly towards Dune Park. So we gotta hop aboard here and head in to Chicago. Yeah, let's get in there. Yeah, out here on the platform, our train should be coming from that direction. And here it comes. Yes, we are taking the train into Chicago, and the idea from there is to get on a boat in Chicago. We're going to be taking the architecture tour on a boat that goes through the river and then out onto Lake Michigan. And figured, difficult to find parking in Chicago, so I figured we'll just ride the train in today. Oh, there it is. Hiding. One of the tallest buildings in the world, hiding back there. The Willis Tower, formerly known as the Sears Tower. Alright, we have headed underground to reach our final destination of Millennium Station. That'll do, train. That'll do. Here, Millennium Station, they do have some Millennium dogs, but I think it may be a little early to get a hot dog. You pop out of the ground here, Millennium Station. Chicago may be a little busy today. Apparently they're doing NASCAR street racing here in the middle of the city, which sounds absolutely insane with how congested the city is. Oh, look at this, the AP Plumbing and Sewer Company. Their mascot is literally a monkey throwing poop. It's a monkey throwing poop. The guy just gave me a thumbs up. Look how elaborately decorated this bridge is here. Look down into the river. That is, I don't know if that is our boat, but that is the boat company we are taking, the Wendella Boat Rides. Okay, they said to head between these two buildings here to get to our boat. Here is our boat, the Quilmet, Either way, it looks like we're the first ones here. Actually, I think this might be our boat, the one that just pulled up. Look at that, you got kayakers here in the Chicago River. Okay, so the guy from this boat said we had all the way back to where we started. This boat said that boat was our boat. The lady upstairs said that was that boat. That boat said over there. This boat says back to where we started. Okay, I guess we gotta cut through this tunnel to try to finally get on our boat, which I guess is already loading because they told us to stand in the wrong place. Okay, so we get on right here. All right, looks like there's still time to load. It looks like we'll be the last ones on the boat. Hopefully there's still some room on the top. I'd hate to have to go down to the boat basement. Okay, we finally made it on the boat. And we were able to sit on top. I was really worried you're gonna have to sit below where you couldn't see anything. We're getting ready to take off here. You can see the other boats floating by, bulging with passengers. Oh, down here we got a little motorboat heading through the river.
My name is John. I'll be the tour guide today for this 90-minute lake and river tour. We're going to see a lot. We're going to learn a lot. And at the end, there's going to be a test. Take notes.
So our guy just did an announcement that he said he doesn't like talking during the tour. So if we want to talk, you got to go down into the boat basement. So I'll leave most of the talking up to him.
Please keep your hands and arms inside the vessel at all times. Interfering with the safe operation of this vessel is illegal.
We're ready to jump into the tour go. You guys ready to learn? Alrighty guys, welcome. I see some of you already taking photos of that sky ahead of you guys. This is just a slice of the downtown area, but already on display. Just by sitting at the dock, we saw many different styles of architecture on display. Chicago is famous for its architecture. The reason for that though is unfortunately a sad story. On the night of October 8th in 1871, we had the devastating Great Chicago Fire. This fire burned about 66% of our city at that time to the ground. More than 17,000 buildings were completely destroyed, 100,000 people lost their homes, and more than 250 people lost their lives. Up into it, up on your right-hand side, towering over the river here, we have Trump International Hotel and Tower. Titled hold over the second tallest tower in the city of Chicago. 1,388 feet, about 415 meters. The 92-story building is a poured concrete core that is then wrapped in steel and glass. Ludwig Mies van der Rohe, a German architect who came to Chicago in the 1930s, gleaned the rise of the Nazi Party. He brought with him this style. Today we call it the International style, famous for its simplicity. Perfectly reflects Mies van der Rohe's less is more philosophy. He taught that philosophy at the Illinois Institute of Technology, but not all of the students agreed. The one that disagreed built next door. His name was Bertrand Goldberg, and as you guys saw, he rejected the international style. He instead opted for his own personal philosophy. Bertrand Goldberg said that since there are no right angles in nature, there should be no right angles in his architecture. Next door, he built Marina City, the corn cobs of the Midwest. They are famous for the two 60-story cylindrical towers, which together have 896 pizza-shaped apartments, referring to the units starting out narrow and widening as you walk into them. Marina City opened up in the mid-60s, designed and built at a time that most people did not live downtown. So the idea behind Marina City was to function as a city in the city, to give you access mostly to a lifestyle. The corn cobs opened up in the mid-60s with your apartment, parking garage, boat marina, restaurant, grocery store, bowling alley, 10-story office building, health club, a radio station, bank, ice skating rink, and even a theater, now the House of Blues, designed so you could theoretically spend your whole life in one city block. On the bottom, Portofino's Pizzeria, that's good Italian. Above that is RPM Seafood, and RPM Seafood remains, to this day, firmly out of my price range. Up next, you're right, the Reed Murdoch Center, 1914 by George Nimmons, a former warehouse boasting its original red brick masonry and terracotta ornamentation, together to make room for the widening of the LaSalle Street Bridge up above us right now. Up next, you're right, 300 North LaSalle, Picard and Chilton, 2009. The glass tower is 784 feet tall and LEED certified platinum. Now, LEED stands for Leadership in Environmental and Energy Design, platinum being the highest certification awarded. The glass tower has been entirely built using exclusively recycled materials, and it cools itself off using the Chicago River water. They end that process by returning all that water back to the river, cleaner than when it went in. Oh, nice is right. Up next on the right-hand side, you guys are correct in your first assumptions. This building is big. This is a merchandise mark. Orientation, set back near the top, and geometric shapes throughout. When this building opened up in 1931 at 4.1 million square feet, it was the largest concrete structure in the world. Today it is second only after the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. Completed in 2017 in LEED certified gold, this is River Point. The arch on the base and on the top pay homage to the many bends at the junction of our river. Feet wide, due to river restrictions on the east and 7 active subterranean railroad tracks on the west. The firm Gatch & Partners engineered a marvel, taking up the full buildable plot with a concrete core that functions like the backbone for the building. The upside-down building. The wind comes off the lake during a storm at over 90 miles an hour, hits the broad side of the building, pushing it to the west, but the water on top would then immediately slosh around in the opposite direction of the table. The green glass building off on your right is 333 West Racker Drive, Cullen Pedersen and Fox, 1983. Great example of contextualism, meaning that it's designed as heavily influenced by the context. Green glass, green glitter, better than the sky, better than the seven. Alrighty, up next on your right hand side, you guys can see people out here enjoying the beautiful Chicago Riverwalk. Today you guys can walk away to Lake Michigan without having to go up and over every single one of our bridges. Opening up to the public in 2016, the Riverwalk quickly became a destination for locals and tourists. Up next on your right-hand side, behind the Riverwalk, is a beautiful dichotomy of architecture. Up first, the Art Deco LaSalle Wacker building. That severe setback in the center there is designed to allow for windows on a hot, sunny summer day like today in a desperate attempt to catch a breeze. That was the only way you had to cool off that building before air conditioning. Glass box design, but it also of course creates more outdoor space. In this way, they were able to take their amenity level, put it higher into the air. They get a better view from up there and a lot more privacy than in the downtown area. The root word brute, meaning raw, as the original name for brutalism was béton brut, French for raw concrete. The wave of modernism invented in the 1920s in the United Kingdom, helping to rebuild their cities after World War I. Up next on your right, 35 West Wacker Drive, won many awards for the modern. But today, if you block out that sun, you notice that the top of Mather Tower does not match the color of the rest of the building. They airlifted that up there in 2002 using the helicopter. An access building on the corner, another French Beaux-Arts, so decorated base, stack of floors, ornate top. Whiplash, left-hand side, you can peek into the glass pavilion here. This is our Apple store. Today, you guys can look through thousands of square feet of retail space, buy a top-of-the-line Apple product, step out, and then drop it in the river on the same day. Square white tower, dark vertical windows. It is the Aon Center. It is the 4th tallest tower in Chicago, 1,136 feet tall. It beats out the John Hancock by only 8 feet. That is less than 3 meters in height. Towering over the river and already an icon, the St. Regis Chicago. Famous for the 3-stepped towers, 6 shades of turquoise blue glass, or have been essentially removed, left open with no glass facade to create what is called a blow-through. Designed to assist the tower against those aggressive winds coming off the lake at these heights, those winds will simply blow through. Scrape today is a pinnacle of luxury living, with retail space, parking garage, the namesake that is the ultra-luxurious St. Regis Hotel. They're both above and below the blow-through. Those full-floor penthouses have all been listed on the market, and some have actually sold for priced upon request. Actually, it was a literal dump. It was common practice in the late 1800s that if you did not want something, you just threw it in the Chicago River. Large quantities of untreated human sewage was dumped in mass for decades in the Chicago River. Being so densely packed with our daily trash, our chemical waste, our sewage, our civic duties, that during the Great Chicago Fire, while the city burned, the river burned right there along with it. The beaches on the lakeshore for that amenity in Chicago. Point number 2, I want to make very clear. Today, Chicago tap water is also very clean. Or in subcontinental divide, it will naturally flow east. The west end of that divide, though, is the Phoenix Plains River, and that flows west. Chicago connected them.
Okay, we are taking a little break from the tour itself as we wait to get into the lock. So we're going to go into the lock, and that's going to raise us up. It says the height of Lake Michigan is actually higher than the river. So we're going to be headed in there, lifting us up and putting us out into Lake Michigan. Yeah, so far, a really cool tour. Just being able to drive like through the middle of it, because you know the Chicago River just cuts through the middle of the city. So just cool, like going down the river, just seeing the tall buildings on both sides. Pretty amazing. Oh, and here we go into the lock. I don't know that I've ever been in a lock before. I've seen saw a lot of locks as I was traveling along the Mississippi River, my Great River road trip. But I think this is my first time ever actually being locked in a lock. Yeah, really cool. I just noticed that flag, that American flag has no stars.
Alrighty, friends, we're now in the lock here. We found out the parts of the Ohio River are like 150 some odd work out there. And you lock master, the person holding charge of this facility, to make sure we go through favorably.
Oh, they said the lock master is up there. Oh yeah, you can see the gates closing here. So it'll seal us in here, and then it'll pump in water to raise us up to the level of the lake. There we go, getting ready to close right there. Just the last few inches. Of a slow process. Oh. Is the lock locked? There we go, it's closed. And now here to the front of the boat, you can see the gate opening, and you can see, yeah, the water's actually higher. So it's spilling in to the lock and raising us up. Yeah, it looks like they just cracked the front open and just let that water slowly flow in here, filling up the lock. I guess it'll open all the way once we're level with the lake. You can kind of feel us slowly raising up. Oh, looks like we are level with the lake. You can see the gates opening up. All right, so it looks like we are ready to head out in to that great lake. Now we're sailing. There's the Coast Guard boat here in the lock with us. We've now successfully transitioned from the Chicago River to Lake Michigan. The birds over there. Over that way you can see Navy Pier jutting out into the lake.
It was basically untouched for most of the year, and a handful of events would have happened out here. In total, about 85% of the time, nothing was happening out here, and it was largely neglected. It wasn't until the back end of Navy Pier, the green roof structure here, this is their grand ballroom. It can be rented out for special events, weddings, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, quinceañeras. I've been to a graduation back here and what I will call a real estate soiree. It was real estate for like a year and a half. We're not talking about it. Of Chicago history. Fort, Fire, Fair, and Fair. Number 1 of Fort Dearborn originally stood across the river from where you ordered a vessel. Number 3, he invented the idea of a mail order catalog, functions like Amazon.com and book form. Montgomery Ward loved Chicago, where he had quoted his catalog company. On your left now, against the blue sky, big black building, big white antenna, famous X-bracing. That is the former John Hancock. And I do say former because right now the naming rights for the tower are on the market. I should be calling it by its street address, 875 North Michigan Avenue, but I do what I want. In the city, and also the tallest tower in Chicago in the late 60s. and it held that title, of course, until the Willis Tower went up. The building is no longer the tallest tower in Chicago. Today it stands at number 5, 848 acres, I do believe. Lincoln Park is best known for the Lincoln Park Zoo, and what's the best part of the Lincoln Park Zoo? It's free. Michigan comes to about 279 feet deep, but the deepest part is up near Green Bay, Wisconsin, where if you look at a topography map at the bottom of the lake, it does this. Part, it was featuring a new light lens, which helped to focus that light better, and also so drew people across Lake Michigan to the shore there so they can enjoy that experience. Mississippi River. On the way back up north, they hit the Illinois River, met friendly Native Americans who said he French. Death, he and his remaining child left this region. In 1803, Chicago built her first fort. That was Fort Dearborn. It burned down the War of 1812. The 90 inhabitants of the fort managed to escape. They made it about 2 miles south before they were hunted down and slaughtered on the lake. 875 North Michigan Avenue. We're going to round that up to 900. So do you see those light towers back there, the antennas? That is the John Hancock. That's 900 North marker. More than once before he died disclosed that he lied. He made it up. It's not true. Now Chicago doesn't know that. They did officially absolve her and her cow in 1997. Who leaves us today with theories? Right behind that big black building, big white antenna. Take your photo of that icon, guys. The best view you're going to get of her. You know her. You love her. She's beauty. She's grace. She's spelled Willis. But she's pronounced Sears.
Woo!
Thank you. All. When you have luxury real estate, especially in a large city, I don't want to say this. When I was in real estate, I kind of picked this up. Real estate, with especially like luxury pricing, it's been talking to you for probably, honestly, close to 70 minutes by now. So I do like to kind of pause the narration, open up the floor, take questions. What questions you guys have for me? You also have very detailed plans which do help as well.
Headed back into the lock.
Go for it, girl.
Check out the inside of the boat here while we were waiting. Oh, nice air-conditioned area in here. Got a bar as well. A little bit of water. Looks like this has some electrolytes in it. And we have been released from the lock and we're headed back into the Chicago River.
Building. Some people say it's purple, some people call it blue. Trust me, it's periwinkle. I know this. I'm difficult and gay. Completed in 1936, done in a Cape Cod style of architecture. Cape Cod, a lot of us are recognizing as being heavily associated with the United States northeastern coast. So think New England court, a full basketball court, 16-person hot tub, steam room, and an additional 1,000 square foot terrace as well. Up next, you're right, the Sheraton Grand Hotel at Solomon Cordwell and Ben's 1990. Looking at their grand ballroom, when all the body walls are opened up in their grand ballroom, it's about the size of a football field. It was audacious, it was rude, he is onto something. Today, the University of Chicago boasts over 100 Nobel Prize winners, mostly in the field of economics. It's consistently highly ranked in the national degree of the university. You can get by.
It looks like they're having a kayak emergency.
They're going to take care of it. You're on vacation, just chill out.
Through some life preservers. I think they're okay. That was a little scary though. Yeah, it looks like we're gently heading back into dock now. And that'll do, boat. That'll do. So apparently what happened is when we were going into the dock, there was people on kayaks, and one of the kayaks flipped over that had 2 people in it. And so someone from the boat dock was shouting, "Man overboard, man overboard." And everyone panicking on the boat. I guess they were worried because they were in the water without their kayak. Our boat was coming in. They didn't want our boat to crush them or go over top of them. So they were calling out through mass chaos. Well, not mass chaos, but a little bit of chaos. People on the boat looking around, wanting to know what's going on. They were throwing life preservers in the water, trying to rescue the people. It did look like they were at no point were they like in any real danger because they were sitting on top of the kayak. They just couldn't flip it over. So they gave them the life preservers. And I think things worked out well for everybody. Looks like there's some sort of giant violin. Turn that crank back there? there's like a little crank,
Yeah.
and it just, you turn it and it just... Oh, once you stop cranking, it stops playing.
Yep.
Oh, here's another one right here. What's in there? Oh, it's like a mask. Turn the crank. Does it just play a little clip?
Yeah. Okay. There's also a guitar. Oh, I see
The
it.
guitar? And there's the guitar here. Come on. Oh, I hear it. I hear it. And this is the Plaza of the Americas here. Little garden. Giant wings. You can stand in a photo op. And who's this guy down here? Oh, this is Benito Juarez, the first indigenous president of Mexico. Head back over this bridge here. Now, we didn't actually see the bridge while we were on our tour. The Kinsey Street Bridge down that way a little further than we went. And that was the bridge that the Dave Matthews Band actually emptied their sewage-filled RV onto one of these poor cruises. Got raw sewage dumped all over them from a bridge in Chicago. Again, not this bridge. The bridge is down that way a little bit, but the infamous Dave Matthews incident occurred here on the river. One place I love to grab lunch here in Chicago is Nando's. Let's go get some South African chicken. Sitting here, you can look down at the street. I think all these people are waiting in line for the Nutella store that's underneath us. All right, got the medium peri-peri thighs. These are boneless. That's looks really good. And they got some cauliflower and Brussels sprouts. What'd you get there, Anna? What?
Rainbow bowl.
Rainbow bowl?
I don't even know what that means.
It's got some avocados, some
Yeah.
cauliflower.
I'm into bowls.
You're into bowls. What's your favorite kind of bowl?
The kind with food in it.
All right, that looks good there. Let's try one of these yummy boneless thighs. Very good, thank you. Nando's always delicious at the Nando's Clean Plate Club. Anna still needs to finish some of her rice.
I can't eat it.
You can't? You're full?
No. And there was too much avocado going on, which is not.
Too much avocado?
That's never the case. There's usually never enough. But
and we've walked over here to perhaps the most iconic spot in Chicago. It is the Bean, officially known as Cloud Gate, but no one calls it that. Everyone just calls it the Bean. Everyone around here trying to get their perfect Bean selfies. Can you see me there? In the Bean. Hello, everybody. I think the worst job in Chicago has to be the guy that Windexes the Bean at the end of the night. There's so many fingerprints here along the Bean. Everyone must touch the Bean. From this angle, you can really see the bean shape. Appreciate the full beaniness of the Cloud Gate. Entering the Bean here, very crowded under the Bean. And you can look up underneath, see that big bean hole in the middle. Zoom in and see everyone there standing underneath the Bean. There's only one rule here in Millennium Park. No stomping the flowers. There are these fountains down here. Every once in a while, one of these giant faces will spit. The kids love it. The kids all like to play in the spit. Oh, is this gonna spit? You never know. You never know when it's coming. You gonna do it? No. It's just a fake out there. Oh, there it goes. That one's spitting. Kids love the spit. And we've come over here to the Art Institute of Chicago, and the lions are back. These iconic lions out in front have actually been being refurbished. They were gone for quite some time, probably. I imagine they were gone for over a year, but they're back and they're looking very majestic. I just noticed here the Art Institute of Chicago is actually the last thing on Route 66, or the first thing. Over there is where Route 66 officially begins. They're just right there. The other lion over here on this side. But I think we're actually going to head in to the Art Institute and check out some fine art. Oh, it looks like a lot of people want to see art today. All right, we've bought our art tickets. We're going to go peruse some fine art. I like this one because it has oranges in it. Oh, this one's super famous. Sunday in the Grand Jatte by Seurat. Get up close. Yeah, you see the little brush strokes. And I'd recognize this rascal anywhere. A few paintings by Claude Monet here. And look at this. This is George Seurat again. This is a oil sketch for Sunday at Le Grand Jatte. I didn't know that artists made little tiny versions of the art before they made the big version. Some more Monet paintings. I heard that he was going blind, and so he kind of painted like a blind person. Painted what he saw or what he didn't see. I like this sculpture because it's a frog bird with bat wings. And here's a half man, half frog. All right, we're going to check out the Frida exhibit. Here's another iconic one. This is Nighthawks.
That's the Atom.
And here's a delightful carousel horse. And here's American Gothic. I'd say this is probably the most iconic piece here. And there's a Picasso. Oh, this one's a Picasso too. All right, heading back underground to Millennium Station. All right, we just got to figure out which one of these trains to get on. Not this one. This one. Train, good old train 119. Oh, definitely don't want to go in the quiet car. I like to be really loud when I'm on the train. So thank you for joining us today. We're back here on the train, headed back towards Dune Station in Chesterton. Had a wonderful day in Chicago. We arrived in Chicago by train, explored Chicago by boat, and then ended the day with a little bit of high-class art at the Art Institute of Chicago. I'm not sure, I think I may be taking the next 2 days off to spend with family. Got a bunch of people in town, and I think I want to focus on family for the next couple days, but I will be back very soon. We're going to be heading out west for our big Pacific Coast Highway road trip. I hope you guys will join me for that. If you do like these videos, please subscribe. I travel around the country. I film roadside attractions, amusement parks, museums, haunted houses, and other fun random stuff. If you'd like to support the channel, consider contributing to Patreon. $3 or more will get you a postcard once a month. Pretty soon the souvenir shop will be back open if you're interested in buying a souvenir. But I am still doing personalized messages on Cameo. If you'd like to receive a message from me, just send to a friend, family member, or yourself. All that information is in the description, and all of those things help keep this train on the track, this boat on the water, and this dirigible in the air. Until next time, my friends, this one's in the bag.